How does the path to a more peaceful and fair world look like? And how are they supporting this change? Let's have a look at their answer.
Gender equality means empowering women and girls to end all forms of discrimination in the home, in the workplace, everywhere. Globally, this is a huge issue. While we've seen big advancement for women's rights in the last 100 years, we still have a long way to go. Around the world, women still face a lack of access to decent work, face occupational segregation and gender wage gaps, often being denied basic access to healthcare and education, falling victims to violence and discrimination, something that has increased by as much as 30% in some countries due to COVID. When we look at the workplace right now, the worldwide ratio of male and female managers sits at 100 to 34. And when we look at women's pay, it's a similar story. A 2019 report from Accenture found that for every $73 earned by a woman, a man is earning 100. Now, this pay gap means that women are losing $2.9 trillion every year. Clearly, we have a lot of work to do. So I can tell you that I've struggled as a woman in my own career. I've faced my own forms of discrimination. As a female racing driver, I'm in a minority. I'm in a very male-dominated industry, and it can be a challenging, hyper-masculine environment. It's also a very traditional sport, which on many levels hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. Even in 2020, motorsport is still primarily done by men and ran by men. And as such, it can feel a bit like a boys' club. Even so, it's one of very few mixed sports where men and women compete equally together. There's no segregation based on gender, and it's one of the many things I love about this sport. And so in theory, if you're fast, you should rise to the top. But as with so many things in life, it's not always as simple as that. So how have I learned to succeed? Well, the truth is that I often feel like I've had to work harder than most of the guys to prove myself in my career. I feel like I'm often fighting against expectations. I try to talk with my actions on my abilities. I get in the car, I do my best, I drive as fast as I can, and hopefully that's enough proof for anyone. And sure, this can work well, but it's hard when you don't feel like you've had access to the same opportunities in the first place. And this can feel like a disadvantage. What I've always wanted, and this is the same for any woman or girl I've ever met in my industry, is to be treated as an equal and to be trusted to do a good job. Whether that's a sponsor taking a chance on me or a team giving me a test and giving me a chance to prove myself. It's about having those opportunities in the first instance. For all the women I know in motorsport, we all want to do what we love doing. We want to be given a responsibility and that chance to succeed. Allow us to believe in ourselves, because when you believe in possibility, you will give it everything. You will give it 100%. Now, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. Top Gun was my favourite film, and every time I saw it, I watched Kelly McGillis alongside Tom Cruise, and I wanted to be Kelly McGillis, but I wanted to be her flying the fighter plane. The problem was that characters like that never existed back then. There was a complete absence of role models I could relate to. I could never see the people that I aspired to be like in the careers I was interested in. Gender stereotyping was alive and well in the 1980s, and so I think if you're only ever shown one version of who you can be, it's easy to grow up limiting your vision of what you can achieve. And therefore, it's vital that we empower young girls early on. Now, I'm often asked, why don't we ever see any women in Formula One? And the simple answer is that in the UK, at least, women make up only 6% of all race license holders. It's like a pyramid. If you only have 6% women coming in at the bottom, by the time you get to the top, it's harder and harder to get there and there's nobody left. What you need to do is build up a strong foundation at the bottom. And it's no different to any other walk of life. Give women the tools early on and enable them to help each other too. Some of the most successful moments in my career have come about because someone took a chance on me. Whether that was mentoring me or giving me a chance to show what I could do, those were the real game changer moments for me. When somebody believed in me because they helped me to believe in myself and unlock my true potential. So much of this was down to finding myself in a supportive environment. And I've come to realize that there were three really key things that have contributed to my success: believing in possibility, removing all fear and thoughts of limitation, and increasing my ability to focus. So, what are the key things that we can all do to empower and create change, either as an individual or as an organization? On a simplistic level, I'd say that it's about giving women the opportunities to learn, the opportunities to train, to move forwards, and that freedom to be themselves at work. Because we want to empower creativity and innovation. Give us that responsibility and that chance to prove ourselves too. So, what are the key things that we can do to create positive change, either as individuals or as organizations? On a simplistic level, I'd say it's about giving women the opportunities to learn, the opportunities to train, to move forwards, and the freedom to be themselves at work. We want to empower creativity and innovation. Give us that responsibility too, and that chance to prove ourselves. Research shows that creating a culture of equality unlocks human potential and uncovers the key drivers in a workplace culture in which everyone can advance and thrive. We therefore need business leaders to implement and define strategies that can make a tangible difference. After all, it's business leaders and organizations that have the power to close the gender gap in career advancement and pay. I think we therefore need three things. We need bold leadership. We need people to stand up and support women in the workplace. Culture is set from the top. And so if we want women to rise up, gender equality has to be set as a strategic priority by the CEO and the leadership team. We need comprehensive action, actions that will make a practical difference, like establishing women's networks and helping women to raise each other up and increase career advancement. Research shows that this makes a dramatic difference. We need to look at factors as well that promote equality for both men and women together. For example, like implementing maternity leave can hold women back. Instead, by recommending parental leave, any negative effects on a woman's career is completely eliminated. And finally, we need an empowering environment. It's about creating trust, like the trust that an organization adheres to equal pay for equal work. As individuals, we can each make a valid contribution because collectively our actions all combine to create a positive force for change. Every single person seeing this video has an opportunity within the organizations that you work in to help by creating inclusive cultures where women feel supported and encouraged and equipped with the skills to rise to the top of their field. Every single person works somewhere. And so, on a personal level, it's about taking a moment to think about what we can do to make an impact and make a difference. We each have the power and the ability to take action. And I think that is a truly inspiring thought. Thank you.